What's going on, guys? You remember when I was talking about what it's like to work night shift, swing shift, all this other stuff? I'd done a video a while back. Performed pretty well actually for the time. And I wanted to kind of reiterate, this is what my thought process was going into the video I want to talk about today. And it has to do with, sleeping and leaning and, kind of being a little bit passed out. That's what I had the initial thought of was, yeah, this is a guy working night shift at Taco Bell. And I can only imagine, because at first, lean looked exactly like what you would see in any factory. We actually have a guy, now that I'm back online, one of my coworkers, he sleep leans a lot. He'll automatically walk to a side because he's in autopilot, and it happens all the time. Even with a little bit of energy drinks, he still cannot stay awake. I don't know why. I heard he was in school, so a lot of the times when he's on day shift, he's doing night schooling and stuff, so it's a lot easier for him to do night schooling when he gets up a little early to do the schooling or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I'm not in, school while I'm at work. I'm doing YouTube videos and streaming. So it's a lot easier for me to do. I get to do it on my own time, and it's very functional. But unfortunately for him, he's constantly passing out. And that's what I thought was going on in this video. But something tells me I was wrong.
This is at the Taco Bell in Niles. I'm sitting here waiting for my food, and this guy looks like this.
So yeah, you have to forgive me right off the bat. Like I said, just out of my experience, my first thought process was like, oh, the guy's just sleepy. He's doing the little weekend at Bernie's lean, going back and forth. And like I said, I work with a guy. That's kind of how he reacts for the most part. Only on day shift, which, like I said, I think he's on night school. And then other people are just tired. They're parents. They have newborns. I know a guy, literally, this is years ago when his son was born. That dude was leaning up against stuff with a part in his hand, just. And you'd think he was straight up doped up, but he wasn't. He was just that exhausted because he would have to be up with a, crying child, have to figure out what's wrong with them since they don't speak, and then try to figure everything out while also having to come to work a manual labor job at a factory in a welding shop with metal, and be able to throw all these heavy parts in a fast, correct time that they give us, and still keep up for 10 to 12 hours a day while taking care of a child with his wife. It was exhausting. I know he's exhausted. It was terrible. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just a little bit of innocence that I don't see stuff like this every day. That's what I thought. Was like, oh, this poor boy is tired. But like you can see, that little lean forward with his shoulders going forward, that's usually pretty apparent that he might be on something. They just, the fent lean.
This is horrible. This is ridiculous. This is the Taco Bell in Niles off 11th Street.
So I'm going to go ahead and be a little transparent. This video is fairly, I think, older. It's not super old, but this happened a while back. I want to say it was before I was doing videos. So I want to let everybody know this didn't happen recently, okay? Apparently people will say in the comments oh my god, this video was 3 years old. Why are you covering it? I only cover things that kind of circulate around my, to circulate the internet a little bit. Even if it's old, it may recirculate. I don't really talk about it like it's modern news. I'm only talking about this because it came back across my feed, and yeah, I remember seeing it, I think, before I did YouTube videos. So it came back across, and I felt like talking about it since it popped back up. I have to say, there's obvious signs that the guy is strung out. You see it all the time in a lot of videos covering stuff like that, and I know a lot of people are going to feel bad for him. I get it. Feel bad for him. That's fine. I myself, I just think it's odd and funny that somebody is in the middle of work, and they're clearly I think, I can't remember, I might be completely wrong, but usually this is supposed to be signs, I think, getting close to an overdose, or maybe it's just they're tired and been strung out for days. But this should be a very big sign to anybody. Please do not do this. But anyway, to get back to a little bit of the goofiness, this guy literally had to knock on the window, and try to get his attention, which it jars him awake enough to go close to the door. And I didn't see any finishing up clip, but he just seems to be going back in circles. He didn't care. He got knocked awake a little bit by the beating in the window. The guy's waiting on his food. Dude's clearly knocked out, zonked out of his mind on whatever it is he's using, which probably is going to be something mixed with Fent. And then he's still not going to do his job right. I'm guaranteeing he's probably fired. And if that's not a wake-up call, I don't know what could be. I mean, a lot of people go through life just doing whatever they want, and then by the time they lose a job or something dire happens, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, there's this big awakening. I need to start getting things right. Or a good majority of them don't. That actually is a very likely situation. Taco Bell is definitely not, I'm not going to say an easy place to work. No fast food restaurant is just bare bones easy, okay? You're having to keep up with a lot of rush hour. That happens a lot, and also a lot of downtime. I know it happens in between. I know people that have worked in both factories and fast food, and they will say factories are harder. Fast food is a lot more mentalish, mental stuff you have to deal with, like customers and getting the order right. While when you're on a factory floor, for the most part, you just got to make sure that the factory snitch ain't around. That's about it. You know, if somebody's going to walk around going, they said a cuss word, and just like, okay, and they also said that they were going to slap that man's ass, and that's sexual harassment. Did you hear what he said he was going to do to me? Like, that's usually the banter back and forth in a factory, is people just being a little obnoxious. And, you know, I do it. Everybody I hang out or that I work with do it. We all have a little bit of banter and fun, and we try to be courteous to the ones around us. But you always have that work snitch. That's the biggest problem you'll have at a factory. While at fast food, you'll have to deal with rush hour and constant annoying customers that constantly think they're right. And it's even worse at a fast food place. Don't get me wrong, except for McDonald's. McDonald's always gets the orders wrong. I don't know why. They are so consistent on pissing off everybody. But Taco Bell, I've never had a problem with Taco Bell, especially around where I'm at. I don't get a whole lot from Taco Bell. The only thing I get is like a quesadilla. I'll get a chicken and steak quesadilla and like a beef 5-layer burrito, and I'll snack on that for, like, I'll eat the burrito on my way home, usually because I'm already starving. And then I'll just sit there and eat the 2 quesadillas wherever I'm doing, probably sitting down and ready to play the game, or maybe I'm going to get ready to, do a video and then go to bed. I don't know. It's just whatever I end up doing is like a couple quesadillas and a beef 5-layer burrito, and they don't normally mess up my order, unlike McDonald's. I think I ranted along enough about McDonald's versus Taco Bell because let's all, kind of agree they're not the best food anyway. Normally you can make stuff better, but if you can just make it at home, you wouldn't really go out for the convenience. That's literally all I do. I go get food for convenience, so I ain't got to cook. Makes things a little bit easier. But yeah, this can't be acceptable. Like I said, if you are having issues, seek help. This should be like the wake-up call for everybody. Don't do that. And I know that's pretty much beating a dead horse. Everybody already knows not to do stuff like that. Same thing with alcohol, a bunch of stuff. Don't abuse stuff. It's pretty simple. But yeah, guys, about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.